start at the beginning. How did you grow up?
My mom and my dad set me down at the table and said, Josh, we need to tell you something, and you're not going to understand this, but we need you to pack a bag, and you're going to have to go live with your grandma, like tomorrow. I'm like, what do you mean? Why am I going to go live with my grandma? And then they dropped the first truth bomb on me that I had ever been told in my life, which started the trust issues. My mom said, your dad is not your real dad. Their last name was Davis. My last name is Austin. It never occurred to me in school. My sister was Davis. I was Austin. And at 13, do you think about your last name? I didn't. I was a carefree guy. And I said, I didn't even know what to say. He was the only person I knew. And I said, okay, well, so I don't understand why I got to go to my grandma's. And they said, well, your dad is in prison. Your biological father's in prison. And he is trying to sue for custody of you from prison.
Do you know what he was in prison for at that time?
I do. He was arrested and convicted of raping 3 young girls. I didn't know what rape was. Okay. They just said that he didn't tell me rape. They just said he did something very bad and he's in prison. So as a 13-year-old, like, okay, if someone does something and he murdered someone, like in my mind, it's murder. I knew my parents had a file cabinet and I went in the file cabinet. Don't know why. I just went through, the paperwork in there. And what I found out that was my mom was on some type of registered list as a victim, that if he was to die in prison or to be released or to escape, that she would be notified. Now, I don't know what that necessarily means today. We've never talked about this because I felt like something traumatic may have happened to her. And because she's my mom, I don't want to have that conversation. That's not something I want to say. I pulled the papers out and I started to read what the transcripts from the court. And, I have no understanding of legal jargon or, prosecution or defense. Like, I don't know. Like, I've seen Judge Judy, right? Like, that's comedy. I start seeing the word rape. I've heard the word rape before, but they didn't tell me rape, so I knew that was a sexual offense. And I saw the ages of the girls and, I saw their testimony. They all identified him in a car, a certain car. None of the girls knew each other. And reading that as a 13-year-old, I wish I could read it today, but reading it as a 13-year-old, it seemed like, looks like you did it, right? Like, and they didn't tell me he did it. They didn't tell me he didn't. They just said, this is what's happening.